Hello everybody and welcome back to another Schlip on Switch video. With the release of the Switch 2 swiftly approaching, I thought it would be fun to make a series of videos going through all the incredible games that Nintendo has given us. From first-party releases to third-party games that Nintendo published in North America, to first-party IP that Nintendo let third-party developers give us amazing experiences for. The Switch really has an incredible library, and I'll be making a series of videos going through all these year by year. This intro will be the same for all of them, so if you've already seen it, you can skip ahead, or you can watch it again, and each video will be linked in the description below, so subscribe, ring the bell for notification on future videos, and let's get started. I will be focusing only on the games, steelbooks, and the collector editions. While I do have a lot of amazing merchandise from a lot of incredible sources, I'll be only focusing on said products. So let's get started. Hello everybody and welcome back to part 3 of my Nintendo Switch first party releases retrospective. In this video we're going to be covering the entirety of 2019. The third year of the Switch's lifespan had some really amazing releases and some incredible games and experiences. And it's also an interesting year for my collecting because it brought in a lot of imports that I got for various reasons. So, not to dally too much, let's get started. I'm going to talk about each thing as it goes along. So the first game we got in the US for 2019 was Fitness Boxing 1. This released February 4th in the US, but in Japan it released December 20th, 2018. But I'm putting in this video because this is based off the US release dates. Now, the Fitness Boxing series is from Imagineer, but Nintendo published the 3 Fitness Boxing games numbered releases for the Switch. There were some spin-offs that were not published by Nintendo, but the main entries are. Fitness Boxing is a fun series. I play them a bit. It's another series I want to play more than I do. Just boxing to the rhythm gets you moving. You got to stand up, use those Joy-Con, and just have fun. All the tracks included are just instrumental. They don't do any of the vocals. But it's, you have a fun array of music to punch to. And some fun customizable instructors with different outfits. And overall, just a fun, simple game. Really enjoyed it. Probably played this one the most out of the 3. And I'll talk about each one as it goes along. So not going to dally too much on it. Next up, on January 11th, we got another Wii U port with New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. This combines New Super Mario Bros. U, which was, I believe, a launch title for the Wii U, and New Super Luigi U into one package with some added content in both games. I was really excited for this because I love 2D Marios, and this was just a lot of fun playing through. I played this a lot. I definitely played New Super Mario Bros. U more than Luigi U. And I really had fun just trying to get as many collectibles as I can and completing each one. I did have a lot of fun going through them both. And with the new characters and various changes and additions, it was a lot of fun. I also had all the DLC included from the main game. I did get a European copy for this one because right after it came out, I was actually going to visit my aunt and uncle in Manchester. And the Nintendo Europe store, the Nintendo, UK and European websites, for a lot of their games, if you order them, they come with bonus goodies. And this came with some pins and a map. And I was like, oh, let me get it, because especially since I was going so soon after launch to visit my aunt there. And I've since got a lot of stuff, as said in my intro, that I'm not going to be focusing on all this side stuff that I got. But this game was the first one I got the European goodies for, and definitely didn't stop there. So yeah. Did you play this game? Let me know what you thought of this game. Let's discuss it. Alright, now to move on to the next game. We got, on March 29th, Yoshi's Crafted World. A new entry in the Yoshi focused games. This game was a really, really cute and simple game. Where just, a 2D platform with Yoshi collecting collectibles and all that stuff. And I really enjoyed this. I did play through the thing. I did find it, a bit slow and hard to keep my attention sometimes. But I really, really enjoyed it, and the craft visuals were just fantastic in this game. I really, really, really like this, and I should revisit this one because it is fun. It's cute, and I don't have, a lot to talk about, but I did enjoy it. So yeah, Yoshi's Crafted World. Let me know in the comments what you think of this one, and let's discuss it. So now, moving on to the next game that released, we have on April 12th, we got the fourth entry in the Labo VR, and also the last one, with Nintendo Labo 4 VR. So I have the cartridge for that, and I also got for this the Toy-Con 4 VR starter set. There was a few different VR attachments you could get. So there was a bundle that came with all of them. There was the starter set for a little bit cheaper that came with just some of them, and then also if you started with this, you were able to get the expansion sets with the other VR kits. So there's a couple different ways to get the different VRs. I didn't play it though. I didn't try it. I always wanted to try it. It seemed really cool, especially since they added into a couple games like Captain Toad and Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart and Smash. Did they do Mario? Yeah, no, I don't remember if they did Mario Kart. Anyway, they added Labo functionality to a lot of the games that were already released, and I really wanted to try it out, especially trying Breath of the Wild in the VR, but I never got around to opening it up and putting it together. Maybe I should. So, Labo 4 VR. Let me know what you think of it. If you just played the main modes included in this, or did you try it out with any of the other games that were previously released? Let me know and tell me if I should try it out. Alright, next up on June 28th, we got the long-awaited Super Mario Maker 2. I know people were talking a lot about this coming to the Switch before it was announced, and it was finally announced. And people were excited. Ultimately, at launch, it didn't get the greatest reception, especially a lot of the online modes were very broken, and it didn't control as well as the Wii U version. I didn't touch the Wii U version, but I did play it for a bit on the 3DS. Not a ton, just a bit. So I was really excited for the second one. I am not very creative when it comes to making different levels. I remember watching a lot of YouTube videos of like levels people would make. I'd be like, oh my god, people are incredible with what they come up with. But that was not me. I did enjoy what I played, though. I didn't play a lot, though. Really didn't play a lot of this one. But it's Mario, 2D Mario, fun times. And it would be cool to see how this Mario Maker franchise, mini-franchise, whatever you want to call it, continues. It also did get, in Europe, a really cool steelbook released for the game. And to make the steelbook a little bit unique, it came with a little plastic slipcover, which shows the Mario and some of the elements on the grid. And then you can put the slipcover on, which adds in all more elements that you can add on. Really cool steelbook. I really like this one. It was a little hard to get, but not too hard. I don't know, just like me deciding how to get it. So yeah, Super Mario Maker 2. What do you think of this game? Let me know in the comments and let's discuss it. Next up, on July 19th, we got Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 from Koei Tecmo. This was a Nintendo Switch exclusive, not a first-party IP, but an exclusive game to the Switch and Nintendo published. And I was a big fan of the Marvel series, especially when this came out. Now, I still love the Marvel series, and I'll go see whatever comes out for it. But, definitely the MCU is not the same quality it used to be. I never really got into, like, the Marvel Universe beyond the Marvels, the MCU and the TV shows. I never really got into comic books and whatnot, but I was really excited for this game. Ultimately, when it came out, I didn't really play it all that much. And I really, this is, one of the games I keep on thinking I should go back to. There was a bunch of DLC also released for this game. So, there's stuff to play. I should give this game another go. So yeah, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order. Let me know in the comments if you play this, and let's discuss it. Now let's move on to the next one with... on July 12th, we got Dragon Quest Builders 2. Another Square Enix game that was published by Nintendo. This game was also not a Switch exclusive or it didn't launch first on Switch, I believe. But nevertheless, in the US, this was published by Nintendo. While it released July 12th in the US, it released in Japan on December 20th, 2018. I believe. Might have gotten that wrong. But anyways, so this is the second Dragon Quest Builders game, and they're both on Switch. I didn't love I only played the first one for a few minutes, and so I didn't really touch this one. Just picked it up for the collection. But it looks good, and I heard good things about the Dragon Quest Builders games. So if you play this, let me know in the comments and tell me why I should give this series another go. Because it does look cool. Alright, now for the next game. One of my favorite games on the Switch. We have, on July 26th, we got Fire Emblem Three Houses. This game, this is the Japanese version of the game. This game is incredible, but before I talk about the game, it did come with a collector edition. This is the US collector edition, and it came with a steelbook. There was also a European collector edition that was slightly different, but I only picked up the I didn't pick up the European one, I picked up the US one. And I also picked up the Japanese collector edition for this game because it came with another steelbook. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember which one was which. This might have been the US one, this might have been the Japanese one. Anyways, it's different artwork on the inside, but both of these steelbooks have the other's artwork as the inside. And I was like, at first I was like a little bit like buying two collector editions just for the steelbooks. But then I actually got to playing the game. I wasn't in the US when this game released, so I didn't play it right away. But when I got back, I dove into the game, and boy, this game became one of my favorites on the Switch. Let's move these over. Sorry. Alright. I'm back. Fire Emblem Three Houses was my first real Fire Emblem game. I previously played Fire Emblem Warriors, as I spoke about that in the previous video. I did sell my US copy for the games. I have my Japanese copy. And this game is just incredible. And I did say my first proper Fire Emblem experience, but some of you will be like, you never played a Fire Emblem game if you played it on casual mode. Yeah, okay, I played it on casual mode because I'm not, that skilled. But this game gives you three options at the beginning. Which house do you want to choose? Do you want to go into the Blue Lions, the Golden Deer, or the Black Eagles? Blue Lions is the right answer. Blue Lions is the best house. So yeah, I started off with the Blue Lions, and you get to pick, male or female Byleth. And you start your life as a teacher in a monastery where you go around meeting your classmates and interacting. Well, it's not meeting your classmates, meeting your students and interacting with all of them. And then you start in the battles with some really, really, really fun turn-based battles with a great strategic combat that I got hooked into. I loved it. And definitely made me want to play a lot more Fire Emblem. And I did play some, but not all of them. And definitely more to play. And this game was just amazing. I did play the Blue Lions route at launch and absolutely loved it. A few months later, I started the Golden Deer route, and then the fourth wave of the DLC, so the story DLC came out, so I picked that up. Played the DLC in middle, got the DLC characters, love the DLC. I love the DLC characters. Some of my favorite characters in the game are from the DLC. And I played the Golden Deer route. And then I took a long break. That was a few months after the break between those two. Took a long break till I finally got to the Black Eagle route. And I'll mention, when I played it a little bit later, in different games. But played the Black Eagle route, 1.5 times because, so each of the three routes is a completely different story, I should mention. The first half of the game is very much similar, depending, do you just start with different characters, and you can recruit characters and other things. But the second half of the game, which has a 5-year time skip, vastly differs depending on which house you chose. So if you choose the Black Eagle house, there are 2 different routes you could take post time skip, depending on if you do certain things in the first half of the game. So only that has that. So there's 3 starts, 4 endings for the game. So I did them all, and I loved every second of it. And this game is just incredible. And if you haven't tried it, I really hope you try this one, because this is one of my favorite games on the Switch. And it's just truly, truly an incredible experience. I love it. All right. I think I spoke enough about this one. So let me know in the comments what you think of this game, and let's discuss. And remember, Blue Lions is the best house. I don't care what anyone says about Edelgard. Dimitri. All right. That was this game. Next up, on September 6th, we got the physical release of Tetris 99. The digital version of Tetris 99 came out as a Nintendo Switch Online free game. If you have the subscription, you can play it for free. That digital version came out on February 13th, 2019, and in Japan, the physical came out on August 9th. but in the US we got it on September 6th. So Tetris 99 is a free game if you pay for the subscription, where you play Tetris against 99 other players, and it manipulates everyone's board, and you have a lot of fun. They later introduced some DLC, which gave some single player modes and other modes. I never actually dived into the DLC, but if you got the physical release, it came with all the DLC included on the cartridge. So it was really cool that it did get that physical release, but you don't need it to play the main Tetris mode. But you do need it online because it is a multiplayer game. And the game does get a lot of support, even continuing all the way till now in 2025. The game constantly gets almost every time Nintendo releases a new game, they add themes into this that you can get and unlock with music and with different music and backgrounds. And I really should go back in because I believe there is a way to unlock all the events that you missed, that you still get the themes from. I played this quite a bit at launch. I loved Tetris, but I didn't love the multiplayer part of Tetris. That was just too much stress and chaos for me. I did play it a bit at the beginning, especially to unlock different themes and music. I really should dive back in because I love Tetris and there's a lot to do in this release. It's really cool it gave it a physical release. And if you bought the physical release, you did get a year of the individual membership. So definitely a great value with this little package. It's a great game. So yeah, Tetris 99. Are you still playing this game? Have you played this for a bit? Let me know in the comments what you think of it, and let's discuss it. All right, moving on to the next game. We have on August 30th, we got Astral Chain. This is a game from Platinum Games exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. And I got the European version with this really, really nice collector edition. That was actually a really good price for this collector edition, especially importing it back then with exchange rates that I paid. And I think I may have even got like a good deal, maybe like a price mistake or something from Amazon Germany. But yeah, really, really great buy. And when this game was announced, I was immediately intrigued. It just looked so much fun, and this looked like something I'd really latch onto. And I didn't end up playing it when it came out. It ended up sitting in my backlog for a while, and then I decided in like the beginning of the year I'm gonna take like 5 games from my first party backlog and play them, and this was one of the 5 games I chose. And I finally played it a few weeks ago, I'd say, at this point as of recording, and I loved the game. I was having so much fun playing through this game, and the combat's a lot of fun. I'm not amazing with the combat. Didn't understand everything I was doing, but I had a lot of fun doing it and playing it. And I was having a great time with the missions and the characters. I was really enjoying it. The story and the music in this game is incredible. The visuals take a little time to get used to the visual style. I'm not going to say it looks bad on the Switch because it doesn't look great on the Switch, but just the visual style that they went for took me a few minutes to get used to. But I was hooked in this game. But then I got to the final chapter and I was invested in it, and then I got to the ending and it was just like, like that like literally just ruined my experience with the game. And some people I spoke to didn't feel that way, and I know they want to continue the series, so I really hope it does get a continuation, because if this gets a sequel, I will dive into that. I will dive into the sequel, because I love this game, and yes, the ending might not have lived up to my expectations, but that's also could just be a me thing, and I would love to see this series continue, so hopefully it does. So yeah, Astral Chain. If you play this game, let me know in the comments what you think of it, because we can discuss this. Alright, moving on to the next game. Is on September 13th, we got Daemon X Machina. This is a marvelous IP and published by Nintendo for the Switch. This was a Switch exclusive at launch and for a while. Eventually did get ported to other systems. I also got a really cool collector edition in the EU. It was a really big one, and it came with a really cool statue and an art book, but the main reason I got it was for the steelbook, because I love my steelbooks. I did play the demo for this game a little bit before it came out, and it wasn't hooking me right away. It was definitely something that if I gave it more time, I could have changed my mind, but I never gave it more time, so didn't really play this one all too much. So yeah, Daemon X Machina. If you play this game, let me know. If you played it on the Switch or on other systems, let me know as well, because I'm interested to hear what people think of this game. So alright, now moving on to the next game. On September 20th, we got The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. This is a remake of the Game Boy game, and I heard really good things about it. I never ended up playing this myself. I do want to, and I always found the art style really interesting. And I also got the European Collector Edition. It's a really cute Collector Edition. I managed to get that. And it came with what has to be my favorite not my favorite, but my favorite Nintendo Steelbook. I just love how, because it's a Game Boy remake, they made the Steelbook look like the game on the Game Boy. And if you flip around the back, you see like the cartridge in the Game Boy. I just love that detail on this Steelbook. So yeah, so a lot of European imports, and we're not done with them yet for this year. It's really funny how, looking back as I was preparing for this video, I got European collector editions for Astral Chain, Daemon X Machina, Link's Awakening, but my favorite game of the year, and one of my favorite Switch games, for Fire Emblem, I got the Japanese and the US collector edition, but not the European one. Maybe I should chase it down just for prosperity. Probably shouldn't, though. Anyways, back to Link's Awakening. I didn't really play this. I did play Echoes of Wisdom. I'll talk about that, which continued the art style and really made me interested in going back to play this. So maybe I'll have to find time to get to it, because I am definitely interested. I also do want to play more Zelda games, because I only really played the new ones on the Switch. I haven't played any of the remakes on the Switch. So yeah, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Let me know what you think of this, and which version did you play? If you played this one, if you played the originals, if you played all of them, let me know, because I want to hear what people think about this. So comment below and let's discuss this. All right, gonna move on to the next game now. Next up, on October 18th, we got one of my favorite gimmicky games for the Switch, Ring Fit Adventure. And it came in a box with the extra accessories, with the leg strap and the ring con. So Ring Fit Adventure is a exercise game that makes you move while you play the game. Think of it as like a sort of successor to the Wii Fit games, where you gotta move. But this game is a lot better than that. I did play Ring Fit. I did play Wii Fit quite a bit. So Ring Fit really intrigued me with the RPG elements to it, and I have to say I loved it. When you have the ring con and the leg strap, you're running around in place using the leg strap and using the ring con to do all these different exercises. But having it in a RPG-like story is just made the game so much fun. But to join me to talk about it, let's welcome back to the channel, Chaim.
Good to be back.
Hey, so Ring Fit Adventure is a game that's, us being two bigger guys, I definitely need to play this more. I definitely need to play this more than I do, and I always enjoy it, but I'm lazy, so usually I just want to lay down and play my Switch without having to move. But I always enjoy when I do play this.
It was a great game. It was a cool concept. I remember playing Wii Sports on my Wii, and then Wii Fit. This was a natural progression from that. I mean, I didn't buy it in 2019. I bought it when the pandemic hit. And it was one of those things that the gimmicks made it feel so much nicer not actually having a gem. I felt, yeah, as you said, it's very gimmicky. But the idea that you got the thing that you're squeezing, the ring con, and you got the leg strap that makes you move your legs, and all the motion you're doing with it, I thought it was really great. It wasn't a great substitute for a gem per se, and I thought it was very, it kind of lacked in some depth. But for a game that's about getting fit, it certainly made getting fit fun. I didn't put more than 10 hours into it, but I still really enjoyed the game because it made me move my hips, made me do things that the pandemic really robbed of me not going to a gym.
So for me, this is a game, I didn't pick it up day one, but I did pick it up, and
Was it the pandemic?
I don't remember when or why I picked it up. I think I got it on a bit of sale, but...
What did you pay then?
I don't remember.
Was it more than $79? What did you pay for it?
No, it was less. I don't remember what I paid for it.
The sale price was $79, right?
That was the original price.
Yeah, I paid the original price, but the pandemic just drove everyone crazy.
I think I got it.
And it sold for like $150 sometimes.
I think I got it before the pandemic. But as a game, I do go through stages like, okay, I'm going to play Ring Fit more often. I play it for like 2 weeks and I just, stop playing it.
It's not even really fully 2 weeks.
Hey, I did do more than 2 weeks at some points in my life.
Not continuously.
No, continuously before you knew me. But I just love going through the story mode and just the atmospheres and the music.
Wait, there's a story mode? It didn't feel like a story.
Okay, yes, the story is very light, but it's still the story mode or the adventure mode. Just I love the atmospheres and the music, and I find like the humor and the writing funny, even though it's not like the greatest thing, but it is
The voice
fun.
acting was great. I love the very over-the-top enthusiasm.
Some of the lines in this game always just make me cackle when I hear them.
How about the flaming hair? Like, can we not talk about that as a never do again ever in a video game?
No, that needs to make a comeback more.
As I'm looking at the box art over here, I'm really reliving the game. It's almost like Breath of the Wild meets like fitness training, kind of.
Just all the different exercises and the turn-based battles and the stamina and the skill trees and just it just makes like I love playing RPGs, so just like having the RPG mechanics in an exercise game was just such a good idea, and I loved it. There's all these other side modes. I don't love all the mini games, especially in this. Like some of the mini games just drive me nuts, but I really enjoy this game, and I'm always like I gotta play Ring Fit more. But
yeah, I would like to play it more, but I'm at the point where I actually go to the gym. And I also walk like a minimum of 5 hours a day for work. So the last thing I'm really motivated to do is go and play some Ring Fit Adventure.
I also am on my feet most of the day at work, so I also just like laying on my back when I get home playing video games.
But there's also a gym that beckons you.
Yeah, that too.
So what did you guys think of this game?
Yeah. So yeah, Ring Fit. I'm really curious to see if they do anything with the Ring Fit brand on Switch too.
How many of you bought it because of the pandemic? That's what we'd like to know.
And it would be cool to see some 2-player capabilities in future entries in the... If Ring Fit becomes a brand, it would be cool to see some
I hope they don't charge more than they charged for this for it.
But yeah, so Ring Fit Adventure, available only in this accessory bundle. Did you play it? What did you think of it? Let us know in the comments and let's discuss this game. This was a lot of fun. I love this game, and I need to play it more.
Yeah, remember, Adventure Way to Fitness.
Yep. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. All right, back to just me. Next up, on September 27th, we got Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. This is another Square Enix game that was published by Nintendo on the Switch, at least in the US, and was later ported to other systems. But before this was brought to the Switch, it was previously released on PlayStation, PS4, and 3DS. But then that was like the base version of the game, and this is the like expanded special edition, definitive edition. There's like the S for special and D definitive edition, with a lot of more content and different modes. And this version later got published to other systems. This is like the definitive edition, but this version of the game was Switch exclusive for a while. I've always wanted to check out the Dragon Quest series because I love RPGs, and I didn't grow up playing a lot of games. The Switch ever really introduced me to a lot more, and Dragon Quest is one of those series I didn't play much. This game also got an incredibly long demo for the Switch. I think it was like 10 hours or more, the first like 10 hours of the game. And I was playing that demo. I was really enjoying it, but I was also like really focused on Fire Emblem Three Houses when I was playing that demo. So I never finished the demo, but I was really enjoying it. And then got this game and never like ended up getting back to it. So it's another one of the games that I really want to get back to. I mean, I'm going to restart it or something, I guess, play or get back. I don't know. Anyways, I've heard really good things about this, and it's a game I really need to get to. So yeah, Dragon Quest XI S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. Let me know in the comments what you think of it if you played it, and let's discuss this. All right, now let's move on to the next game. Next up, on October 31st, we got the third entry in the Luigi's Mansion series. We got released worldwide. We had the game, but over in Europe, they got a exclusive steelbook to show. This steelbook had some glow-in-the-dark elements. Hey!
Luigi's Mansion.
What about it?
Luigi's Mansion.
What about it?
I have loved Luigi's Mansion since the GameCube when it was our launch title. I love everything about like Luigi being his own character in a game that is Luigi-centric. And the quirky egad, and Luigi being scared of every damn boo. That was everything. And then Dark Moon, which that's not right now. And Luigi's Mansion 3, giving me that nostalgia and literally screaming, almost throwing my Switch controller out my window. I was so excited. I was speechless when this came out.
So, as someone that hasn't played the first Luigi's Mansion or the third Luigi's Mansion, I only played Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for a little bit. Tell me why should I play this game?
Luigi's Mansion, we'll go with the GameCube first.
Well, I don't
It
have
was a
access
great-
to that game, so let's only talk. Tell me why I should play the third game.
Either way, it's a great point to start because it established this. It had the idea of like boss-like ghosts, much better so than in, again, the next game. But this game brought ghosts as a boss, gave a lot more sub-area and area to each of these bosses that was on like each floor that had like a cool gimmick. Luigi's Mansion, the original, had small rooms with a theme, and maybe a couple rooms that were suite of rooms with a theme. Luigi's Mansion 3 amped it up and gave a new concept. Like, here's Gooigi. Oh my gosh, Luigi can squirt out a little copy of him in, like, goo. It's so cool. And the fact that everyone's on some innocent holiday, and of course it goes wrong. Super Mario Sunshine much? It was so fun playing that game because it was beautiful HD graphics for Luigi's Mansion. And I love that I got a whole bunch of nostalgia, but it wasn't in the same way that it was pure nostalgia. It was that this is something new. It's familiar. But more importantly, it was an entirely new experience. And that was one of the things I loved on the Switch, was new experiences that I have not experienced on a Nintendo console, because the Wii did not deliver that to me.
So yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3 is... Did you play this game? If you have, let me know. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Let's discuss it.
Were you a scaredy cat like Luigi?
I might have been. I might be.
I might have laughed my behind off several times on that.
So with 2 of the 3 available on the Switch, let us know what's your favorite entry from the series.
It better be number 3.
Anyways, now thanks, and let's move on to the next one. Thanks, Chaim.
You're welcome.
Right, next up on November 5th, we got Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. This game is really interesting for a lot of ways. But this game also released in Japan on November 1st instead of November 5th that we got elsewhere. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games is a long-running crossover franchise of 2 incredible gaming icons. And it started all the way back on the Wii and the 3DS. And it was really, really cool, like mini-game style based off the Olympics. And I did not really... I played a little bit of those initial entries, but the most I played was Olympic Winter Games, Vancouver on the DS. I played that game for hours, and I loved the little adventure mode, story mode that they had in that game, which unfortunately didn't really come back in any of the future ones properly. So, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. I was really excited for this on Switch because I wanted to get back to that, because I loved that initial game, but I didn't play this one, and in the end, too much. It's also really interesting how these Olympic Games never even happened due to unfortunate events in the world. So it's really cool that we have an official game for it. There's actually 2 games, both by Sega, on the Switch. One with Mario and Sonic, and one just Olympics. There was also a Sonic Olympics, but that was only for mobile, not on Switch. Sega really released a lot for the Olympics that never happened. And I would love to see this series make a return and see how they can make it better, but apparently the license isn't there anymore. So yeah, this game was published by Sega, but it uses Nintendo IP, so it's in this video. And it doesn't even have Nintendo's name on the case, besides the official seal that everyone has. But all the logos are Sega. So, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, Tokyo 2020. Did you play this game? Let me know in the comments what you think of it if you did. And now, for our last game of 2019, we have Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, released on November 15th. This new generation, the first generation for the Switch, was a really cool release. And I played Sword. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot in this game that might not have been done as well as it could have, but they were really, really, really fun games. Really enjoyed it. I also picked up, there was also a steelbook for Pokemon Sword, released in Europe. A steelbook for Pokemon Shield, released in Europe. And if you got this double pack from Europe, you also got the Gold Steelbook for both games. Now, the Gold Steelbook was also available in the US. They did have the double pack available in the US. It might have been a Target exclusive in the US. It was actually cheaper for me to import this from Amazon UK than it was to buy it in the US at Target. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure if I remember my serves correct, this was a Target exclusive in the US. We also got it at the Nintendo New York service. I saw it there. And I enjoyed this generation. I never ended up playing more Pokemon after this released on the Switch, at least like the mainline games. So it was fun. Kind of like was like not super into it anymore. I love Pokemon. The games need to do something to get me back to them. Maybe just me. There was also this is also the first Pokemon generation to not have like a third game later on down the line, but instead it got DLC. So that was an interesting change. Um, DLC was a separate purchase, but they did release on November 6th of 2020. They released a DLC cart, which included, there was one for Sword in the DLC and one for Shield in the DLC. So if you wanted that all on cartridge, you were able to get that. That was, a lot more, a bit more expensive, but it was about the same price as buying a game and the DLC just on a cartridge. So it was pretty cool that they did that for these games. So yeah, Pokemon Sword and Shield. Let me know what you thought of them, and let's discuss this in the comments. So yeah, and with that, our video for 2019 comes to a close. Definitely a very varied year with releases, some really cool experiences, and third-party games that Nintendo published or used Nintendo IP. And a wide variety of imports. Like, I got a lot of games imported this year, which really started a trend. Which might not have been a good trend. Might have been a bad good trend. I don't know. Let me know what you think about importing so many games. Yeah, this was a fun year for Switch. And a fun year of my life in general that year. A lot going on. Very busy. Big life changes with moving. And settling into new jobs. And just playing games and having a blast with all that. It was 20. Just thinking back, 2019 was an interesting year. So yeah, it was a fun year for gaming, and this was a fun video to make. So I'm gonna keep on making more of these. Hope you're enjoying them, and stay tuned for 2020 and beyond, because there's a lot of amazing games to talk about. All right, if you enjoyed this video, let's discuss these games in the comments. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, ring the bell for notifications on future videos. All the videos in the series are going to be linked in the description below. So let's end this video, and thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.